Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Let's hear from the UK's Defence Minister. He's gonna tell us the Russian losses since the beginning of the war, intervention, invasion, military operation, however you want to call it. And we can trust this guy because he's the UK Defence Minister and his name is Wallace, okay? And he wouldn't lie to us, and his information are very exact. This article comes from the New Voice of Ukraine, and it's from December 22nd, 2022. In the first 300 days of the war against Ukraine, aggregate combat effectiveness of the Russian invasion forces has fallen by more than 50%. UK Defence Minister Ben Wallace said in a message on the ministry's website on December 22. According to Wallace, invading Russian forces in Ukraine have lost more than 100,000 soldiers killed, wounded, or deserted, on top of more than 4,500 armored vehicles, 140 helicopters, and hundreds of artillery systems. And I'm quoting, "The Russian battalion tactical group concept, for a decade the pride of their military doctrine, has not stood up to Ukrainian resistance," the minister says. So that means their best Spetsna, or whatever they're called, suck. Okay, basically, right? And I'm quoting again, "Russia's deployed land forces combat effectiveness has dropped by more than 50%. He added that the Russian Air Force is flying dozens of daily sorties, compared to about 300 back in March. Wallace also notes that hundreds of Russian mercenaries died in a recent Ukraine strike on the headquarters of Russia's Wagner private military company in Luhansk Oblast. I'm quoting again. "And Russia's much vaunted Black Sea Fleet is little more than a coastal defense flotilla," end quote, said Wallace. He noted that at the peak of its offensive in March, Russia occupied about 27% of Ukrainian territory, while currently holding on to only 18. Okay. That's a assessment coming from the British minister, defense minister, and he's taking the pulse, or maybe here on the left here, of the Russian losses. I would like to know what are the Ukrainian losses according to Mr. Wallace, because we already know the Ukrainian losses coming from Ursula von der Leyen, the president of the European Commission, correct? When she was like, "Oh, there are 100,000 blah 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 blah," and she was called out and she said, "Okay, I'm not supposed to say this." Okay. Anyway, well, I personally don't believe anything that guy said. It's not him in particular, it's the institution he represents, which lied before and will lie in the future. The problem is these numbers, these figures could be perfectly accurate. The problem is I don't believe them anymore. It's like the child or the boy who called wolf too many times and the same, too many lies. No. Now, is it possible to be that amount? Yeah, it is possible. It is impossible? It is impossible. Either way you take it. The thing is, this is not even, or maybe it is, halftime. They all say, they like to pinpoint certain kind of moments of the war, like right now, which is a legitimate time to say, you had 27% and right now you have 18%. But is it 18% up or is it down? It's up. So there I'm winning, right? Okay. Just want to make sure. So it's always the how you interpret the numbers. After all, the Russians are still up. are not losing, are lost compared with what they had at the maximum, that's true, but currently are still up. It's like you go and play at a casino and you go and, let's say you start with $1,000, let's say. No, actually you start with zero, right? Nothing. No win, no lose. And you at one point get to $2,700, and now you're like $1,800. Are you winning or are you losing? You won, you had more at one point, but right now, are you winning or are you losing? If you would say, okay, I call it done today, did I win or did I lose? Obviously you won. You are $1,800 up. So yeah, you can say that that's not the goal. It's true, it's not the goal, it's not the Russians' goal, but I can also say that this is not the end of it, is it? I mean, when you draw the line, it's going to be the end of everything. Then we're going to calculate, or they're going to calculate. And remember, either side, Americans and the Russians, cannot say they lost. Even, I mean, one of them would have to say they lost. I mean, not have to say. Evidence will show that one of them lost. But you'll see that when this thing comes to an end, they will both claim victory. The Russians would say, well, we did this, we did this, and they will say, well, you didn't conquer all Ukraine. You know, it's just that's gonna be one. Hey, you lost this amount of people. Point to that. Well, it's true, but after all, did I check mark this? I check mark this, I check mark this. And it's not going to be everything check marked, because I don't know if they will be succeeding to, I'm talking about the Russians, to fulfill all those 4 points. I don't know how they're going to denazify Ukraine, but it's like I will get the ideology out of your population. I mean, these guys are trying to change our mentality and our values, and as you can tell, they create actually more opposition, because whenever you try to impose something on someone, you have the weak who just go along and get along. Those ones, anyway, they're lost anyway. You can't do anything with them. They're just, you know, I know if you let's say you go to a river, you go to a lake, or you go to a seaside, and you see those water aquatic plants, that's how the weak are. When the current goes in and out, they just go however, and they're over there, okay, and then someone comes and grabs it and kills it. That's how the weak are in a society. So they will do whatever. They will be today with you, tomorrow will be with them, it's going to be with whomever is in power. So they are zero quality. You have the ones that are they are the ones that are really the ideologues, who really believe in certain causes, and then if that cause is their cause that's winning at this point, then, you know, they will be fighting and keep fighting for that, and the other one will be even, you know, digging its heels in the ground and fight the other ideology. And then when those guys get on top, vice versa. But you're always going to have this, and that's the way it is. Anyway, when this Ukraine thing will end, as I said, will end badly for Ukraine. That's going to be the biggest loser. Ukrainian nation. I'm not talking about the guys in charge. I'm not talking about Zelensky or all these guys. No. The Ukrainian nation. Either way, let's say Russia is gone. Putin is gone. They change the regime. Can you imagine where Ukraine will be? How much debt it had? And who's going to build that for free? That country will never recover. You say never? Well, you'll see. I mean, you're never not going to see, because we're going to die and nothing's going to be much change in Ukraine. Because who's going to invest over there, and for what reason? To reconstruct? Look how they reconstructed Saddam's country, Iraq. Is it a reconstruction? It's still... Oh my God. So anyway, they will lose. They will be either way. Do you think that all of a sudden, let's say Ukraine wins, going to be people and building stuff, and it's going to be the new New York. I mean, not New York, but something that will be civilized and clean, and that's why I said, oh, New York. I mean, it's just something that is clean and nice and civilized and orderly and safe. And I don't think so. Economically thriving, and why? Do you think that look wherever the United States stepped on, wherever they intervened to bring democracy and freedom, they never turn back to see what happened over there. They don't ask questions, just do it and they leave. And whatever happens over there, which is show me where it was okay. Don't give me Europe, because it was a different mentality then after the Second World War. And even after that, it was, United States left half of Europe almost to the Soviets. No, that was not good. Anyway, that was not good. A lot of people consider that a criminal move, by the way. A lot of people in the Eastern Europe consider that being left to the criminal Soviets, I guess. Not I guess, but how many crimes occurred after the Second World War. That's kind of like what's going to happen after the Russians retreat, if they retreat from the occupied territories, and the Ukrainians are going to come back. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.